Geely Galaxy appeared in the Geely company brand book recently, in 2023. The brand was designated to promote the new energy vehicles, the hybrids and electric cars. Today we will review in details the first model of this brand from what it started in 2023, the Geely Galaxy L7. This car has battery more than 18 kilowatt hours. Of course, it's an PHEV hybrid. The platform which is used here is same as in Volvo XC40 and XC70, and the price for this car starts in China from 15,500 United States dollars based on today's exchange rate. I think this car may be exactly hybrid for you because the equipment is good, the price is very moderate, so you should definitely look this video till the end. Let's start. This car is built on Geely e-CMA platform, which is also known as Volvo P6 platform. This particular car has the petrol alternative, which is called Geely Boyue L, which looks pretty similar. Some safety genetic code transferred from Volvo to this Geely directly. Here we have pretty much attention to the safety, about seven parts of the deformated aluminum beams and other devices. In the door design, we have some high-strength steel crates, of course, for safety. And one more really obvious and remarkable thing, which I haven't met in other competitors like BYD or something. Here, in the back panel of the backrest of the rear doors, we have really thick metal sheet. Just look at this. It's about 1 millimeter or more, which is, of course, made here for protection in case of really tough rear collision. The body itself is completely made of steel. Most of the parts are zinc galvanized. Only the roof panel doesn't have zinc coating, but all other steel panels have, including the internal structure of the door, like this, internal steel body crate, of course, all the fenders, front and rear, the bonnet and so on. Just the rear tailgate is made of plastic. The carb weight of this car varies from 1,810 kilos, depends on the version, up to 1,890 kilos in the top version with different gearbox. The size of the car is completely normal for its market segment, is 2,710 millimeters of total weight. The wheelbase is 2,785 millimeters. My favorite part in each hybrid is, of course, the motor, engine, transmission and so on. Here we have really something special. Most of the competitors doesn't have it at all. First of all, we have 4 versions of this car. The first 3 versions are like this. This is the 1.5 liter naturally aspired engine, which has 112 horsepower and about 136 Newton meters. I haven't found the information about if it has the Atkinson cycle imitation in its work, but the thermal coefficient the Geely claims to have here is 46.3%, which is even better thermal coefficient of effectiveness, which is even better than in BYD models. They claim from 42 to 46%. Well, basically it's almost the same. Here Geely claims that the actual mileage, actual fuel consumption per 100 kilometers, in case you charge the battery at least sometimes, will be below 3 liters. And Geely, for the same conditions, claimed that it will be below 4 liters, which I already checked in my video and which is true. So if this car will really use less than 3 liters per 100 kilometers, it will be super remarkable. What about the transmission? Transmission here is the DHT transmission. This is the dedicated hybrid transmission. The engine has clutch, pretty normal clutch. Here we have the 2 electric motors. One is the generator, one is the moving motor for the car. They are connected with the ICE engine. This is the parallel hybrid. This car can use ICE to move the wheels. This car can use the electric motor to move the wheels, can use them together, and of course can charge the battery using the ICE motor. And here we have the normal single speed basically gearbox. The power of this electric motor right here is 160 kilowatts, which is 218 horsepower, which is basically same as in the BYD Song L DM-i and many other cars like Song Plus DM-i and so on. But all of that is true only for the first 3 trims of this car. The top version is completely different. First of all, in the top version, we don't have this engine BHE 1.5 BFN. We have BHE 1.5 BFZ, which is the turbo version of this engine. And we have already 156 horsepower, not 112 like here. Here, instead of the single-speed gearbox, we have the 3-speed NordThor DHT. 3-speed transmission, of course, makes all this more complicated and in theory more effective. And actually, even the electric motor is totally different. It's lower power than in the single-speed car. It has only 107 kilowatts, which is about 146 horsepower. So basically, the more expensive, the more complicated, and even the more powerful car actually has less power, something like that. But the 3 speeds gave different advantages. First of all, the top speed of this car with 3-speed gearbox, the technical top speed reached 241 kilometers per hour. But in normal production car, it's limited until 200 kilometers per hour. With the single speed, it's limited, or not, maybe not limited, but the top speed is 180 kilometers per hour. The other thing that the 3-speed DHT transmission here has the launch control, and the first gear has the gear ratio more than 9. It is something which off-roader doesn't have. It's something like a tractor mode with huge torque on the wheels. Just the question why actually they did it. Does this car really need to drive more than 200 kilometers per hour? Fuel consumption, by the way, is worse than the single-speed gear as well, but the car is, of course, faster. It accelerates from 0 to 100 in 6.9, and the single-speed accelerates longer than 7.5 seconds. Well, in my opinion, it was image move. It was made for marketing, maybe made for the testing of the NordThor, that is the name of this DHT transmission, of the NordThor 3 DHT transmission. Batteries with the naturally aspired motor is 18.4 kilowatt hours, lithium ferrum phosphate chemistry, provided either by CATL or by the Chang'an CATL. That's how their supply chain built. But in the top version with the 3 DHT transmission, it's only CATL battery, which is 18.7 kilowatt hours. Nevertheless, the CLTC range in all the cars is same. It's 115 kilometers, and the WLTC range, which will be approximately real, is about 93 kilometers. And I'm pretty sure this car will do 90 kilometers in the summer without any problem. If you managed to watch till the end of that boring technical part, now we go to the trims. We have 4 trim levels. As you see, the top one is 3 DHT, as I told you. The prices in China for today about 15,500 United States dollars to 20,400 United States dollars for the top version, which is extremely good price. It is much cheaper than, for example, Song L DMI, Song Plus DMI, C-Line 06 DMI, and it is or same price or a little bit more expensive than the Song Pro DMI, which is actually smaller and relatively worse equipped car. For the difference in appearance between the trims, first of all, we have the wheels. In basic version, we have R18. Next 2 versions, we have R19. And the top 3-speed versions, we have R20. Generally, there are more than 20 differences between the first and the fourth version, but from visual aspect, only the rims. This panoramic sunroof, which is openable with electric sunshade, which is huge, is by default in all the 4 versions. Same as this roof railings, which is pretty nice that we have them even in the basic version. All the cars have V2L. I haven't found information about its power, but I guess it's 3.3 kilowatts. All the cars have fast DC charging port and slow AC charging port up to 7 kilowatts, of course. All 4 versions have cameras 360, but we don't have the multi-layered soundproof glass, which actually many cars from BYD, especially in this price and market segment, already have. The material quality is like that. Here we have the fake leather, same as on the seats, here and there. Here we have just plastic. In this part it seems soft, but in this part it's already pretty knocky. Here we have the soft plastic. Here we can have the ambient lighting, but only in the 4th single version. Currently I'm sitting in the 2nd version of the trim, basically almost the cheapest car, but already starting from this version we have heat seating and ventilation. The seat design I pretty like, but there is a problem. We cannot adjust the angle of the seat cushion, unfortunately, like we can do, for example, in BYD Song L DMI. Here this angle is by default, but of course the microlift we have. But there is something which BYD for the same price or higher price doesn't feature at all. Here we have the zero gravity mode. The leg actually it's like leg rest adjustment starting from the third and fourth version, and even massage starting from the third and fourth version. This particular car doesn't have it. Here we have the Cortex material on the steering wheel, but unfortunately the steering wheel heating is not presented in any of the versions. Finally, we are inside. This car features something which many competitors don't feature for that price for sure. First of all, we have here the 10.2 inches gorgeous, which is normal. Here we have 13.2 inches central control screen, which is normal as well. It's high resolution, it's 190 pixel per inch, per square inch. And here we have something which is remarkable. It's 16.2 very high quality passenger screen, which is available in all versions except the basic one. In all other versions, it's default equipment. We can watch here video from USB drive. We can watch here a video from different currently Chinese app. We have karaoke function, we have steering of the seat, heating, ventilation of the air conditioner, and so on. It's very good quality screen, and really for that price it's amazingly remarkable. Here we have the wireless charger, power of 50 watts with cooling, which is in all versions except the basic one. Here we have this small organizer, here we have this small box. The economy is extremely nice in my opinion. The car here narrows a little bit, so it doesn't give feeling of a larger SUV like for example Song DM-i, but because of this very high let's say window or waistline, we have feeling of the safety, and this actually reminds me the Volvo. We still have the Volvo roots here. Despite we have pretty many physical buttons in this car, the buttons on the steering wheel yet marked in Chinese, but it's not a big problem. We still have less amount of these physical buttons than for example in modern BYDs. For example, if we want to open the panoramic sunroof or its sunshade, we have to go to the touch control screen. We can also go to the quick control menu, which we can edit by ourselves, and we go for example here where separately we have the sunshade adjustment, and also we have the screen opening, and we could also regulate it like this, which I already showed you in the video of Galaxy E5. The system works using the chip from Snapdragon. It's 8155. It's good chip. Everything works perfectly. Here we can like that shuffle the icons, but unfortunately from factory this car doesn't have English menu, but we can add it for you if you want to buy this car to your country. Everything works literally good. The menu is understandable for sure. We have the drive menu. We have for example some adjustment. We have the screen menu and so on. So it's completely normal, completely understandable. The one more disadvantage I found here, we don't have the glove box, completely don't have. Probably there is some electronic blocks under it, so there was no space for it, but still ergonomy and so on are quite good. This car doesn't feature the Fly Me audio system, which impressed me so much in the Geely E5, because as you remember, this is the first model of the brand. They still didn't have the Fly Me audio system developed. Here we have 8 speakers in first 3 versions and 11 speakers provided by Infinity brand in the top version. Really resembles to BYD Song DM-i and so on. The sound of the 8 speaker is pretty okay in my opinion. Here we have the extra speaker, which sounds a little bit like a subwoofer actually. And the last one, the HUD, which is by default in 3rd and 4th version. In other versions actually you cannot edit. It's 25.6 inch HUD screen. Now we are at the second row. I'm sitting behind myself. It's very good second row, which we could compare with BYD Song DM-i, BYD Song Plus DM-i. Maybe it is a little bit more narrow, it feels like that, but still the general space for the seaters is the same. I have plenty of space in front of my knees. I have plenty of space over my head with 78 centimeters of height. I have a pretty high seat cushion, despite here this point is a little bit drawn down. The disadvantage here is the central tunnel, which is probably say hello to the e-CMA platform from Volvo and from Geely. Of course, it's completely no needed here. We also have the USB port Type-C, Type-A. We have the deflector of the air conditioner. Yes, it's pretty simple. We also have this armrest. We have very slight regulation of the seat backrest. Still, it's very cozy, very comfortable. It's a lot of space. and I feel nice here. Electric tailgate opening presented by default in all versions except the first one. We also have the memory of the position. The trunk is extremely good. Despite we have a basic trim of the trunk, we don't have here any carpet. Still, it's very good volume. It is 535 liters, but if we add here the volume which is taken by this organizer, I think it would be more than 600 liters. And look how funny is the 12 volts battery located. It's not somewhere here, it's not somewhere there on the side of the car, it's just in front of the car, taking this space of the organizer. Probably there is some design reason to make that. Nevertheless, it's really extremely good trunk, and if we fold the rear seats, you will see that it is flat floor. If we fold both seats, we will have more than 1.8 cubic meters of the volume. The infography of this trunk, as usually you now see on your screens. Suspension and ground clearance. The ground clearance is extremely nice. Here under the front duster of the subframe we have 199 millimeters, but there we have some tube which is protection tube, and there it will be much lower ground clearance, but we will check it later. Here we have the classical McPherson, no any adaptive suspension, nothing like that. Here we have the ball bearing, which as I see cannot be, it's not on bolts, but it can be probably exchanged to the bolt type when next time you change it. Generally it's just normal steel subframe and normal steel lower levers. On the middle of the car, the ground clearance is even better. Here under the exhaust system it's 211 millimeters, and under the battery I measured even 220 millimeters. Check it out, 221. This protective tube, I assume it is for indication. When you hit something with this tube, you should stop. That is how it works. It is not really protection of anything. Here the quality of everything looks pretty nice. The exhaust pipe made of stainless steel, and generally everything looks pretty good. Rear suspension is of course multi-link suspension with pretty long levers. Here we have the exhaust pipe, stainless steel. Here we have some thermal screen. Here we have everything pretty rigid, pretty nice. The ground clearance under the exhaust pipe 280 millimeters. Under the levers maybe will be about 230, a little bit less. So today we make the test drive of this Geely Galaxy L7, its sub-top version with the single-speed gearbox. I will try to compare with Song L because this car is like a benchmark for DM SUV. It's sold in many times more quantity. If to take in account all the same platform BYD cars, then in actually about 100 times more quantity. So let's check how this car drives. Now we will perform the acceleration in the sport mode. I will even turn the ESC off. I already turned it off. The maximum sport mode. Engine starts from beginning. We don't have the wheel spin. Yeah, it's pretty slow. I don't feel actually the combination of 200 HP from the electric motor and 112 from the petrol motor. It's approximately compared to the BYD Song L to all the platform, but still, in my subjective opinion, this feels a little bit more slow. So first impression of driving in this car, the sound insulation is worse than, for example, my BYD. Definitely worse, and in all the aspects. The windows, the tire sounds, the general sounds, it's generally like one level worse. But the suspension, surprisingly for me, I would say feels a little bit better. First of all, it feels a little more stiff in good sense. I almost don't feel any unsuspended masses like I feel sometimes in my BYD Song LDMI. And at the same time, we have a little bit over pressure in our tires. It's 2.7, and normally I drive in my car 2.1, 2.2. So generally, surprisingly, I would say this suspension is better tuned and a little bit well balanced. The view is everywhere good except the rear window through the tailgate. Through the tailgate, we don't have any view completely. Like it's 5 centimeters of a gap from the driver's position. Now, as we are at the traffic lights in a quietness, I must say that here we have massage. It can be turned on here, and in fact, this massage is, for example, not the best in its class, but actually not many cars in this class have massage, but like Mazda has better massage. But the other issue, it works extremely loudly. So much loudly that for me it's already not comfortable. And the other thing, that the turning signal, is too loud for like EV, for hybrid car, in my opinion as well. In terms of energy consumption, we have the 4.9 liter per 100 kilometers, the average for this car. Generally same, totally same as Song L DM-i. What we have in terms of energy consumption, well, basically this is a sport mode. Let's maybe shift to the mode of intellectual hybrid. At the speed from 80 to 100, maybe here the acceleration is even a little bit better than in my Song L, but definitely now I am sure for 100% this car is much louder. Really, you hear the wind, you hear the tires. After 80, it is already pretty uncomfortable. If you buy this car, I really suggest to perform some sound insulation measures aftermarket. No angle, separate angle adjustment of the seat cushion, but the seat is more bucket-like seat, which I really like, and there is a possibility to adjust it at really low position, which also nice for me. The seat position, the suspension is for active driving, but we don't have the potential in the drivetrain here to make this car sportive enough, and also it's once more really loud. And the steering wheel in sport mode really sportive as well. I assume that this car with the 3-speed DHT would be much more well balanced and comfortable, and I hope they added some sound insulation there as well. Well, the test drive really surprised me with the chassis tuning. It's better than BYD, despite BYD chassis I like as well. At the same time, we have quite moderate, maybe below average acceleration of this car. We have the fuel consumption on the level of 5 liters, which is the same level as the 26.6 kilowatt hours, a little bit heavier BYD Song L DM-i has. At least in this driving mode, we have 5.1. We also have really bad sound insulation. They saved on it, definitely saved. This is quite lowest level of sound insulation I have met in the nearest time. At the same time, this car has some features like massage, like the passenger screen, like the leg rest, which is not typical for its market segment and for its price. And the basic car starts just from $15,500 in China, which is very good and moderate price. This car is definitely more interesting than, for example, the BYD Song Pro DM or BYD C-Line 05 DM, which are basically the same cars. But compared to bigger models of BYD, well, I would consider. Of course, it's cheaper, but in my opinion, I would probably add for the bigger battery and better sound insulation. My name is Dennis. Please push the like button, subscribe to my channel. We can export this car to any of your country. Just contact me directly. All the information below this video.